Hello everybody. Today I want to talk about a golden conscious and why it is so important or even necessary to have on your self-love journey. My name is Roeleke and I'm a self-love specialist. So why is having a golden conscious so important on your self-love journey? Well, let's start by explaining what a golden conscious is. And don't worry, I will make several videos about how to create a golden conscious and how to make it sustainable. An important part of feeling more self-love and creating a world from a place of self-love is being present, being in the now, and being aware of what your mind is doing, what it's thinking, what is it saying to you. Are you present right now at this moment? Are you really focused on what I'm saying? Or are you worrying about something that happened yesterday? Or maybe will or will not happen tomorrow? What is your brain telling you while I'm speaking to you? Are you thinking about the conversation you just had? Or are you really listening to what I'm saying? When you are in a conversation, do you notice what your mind is telling you at the same time? Are you really saying what you want to say? Or are you holding back? Are you listening to the other person? Really listening? Or are you listening to reply? When you're doing something for somebody else, are you doing that because you want to? Or are you doing it because you think the other person will expect it from you, that you will be doing that you're doing right now? Or is it somebody else that you may think that you are supposed to be doing that, what you are doing right now for that other person? Do you see how complicated your brain can work? How it wires everything together? How it even tries to think for other people? Think about what the other might be thinking about you or about what you're doing. Let me just hit the blinds here for a second. That's better. Now you can see my face, which is kind of a nice thing, I guess. Anyways, what I was saying. Do you see how your brain works? How it makes such a web of thoughts and things that it says to you that other people might think or not think, or I don't know. And don't get me started what it says about you. Because if you're not aware of it, it's probably not that nice what it says to you about you. Which is kind of weird, because it's your own brain. And it's your brain talking to you. So basically, it's you talking to you. So you're saying harsh things about yourself. Remember, on your self-love journey, there is no right or wrong. There's you noticing what you're doing, what your mind is doing, what you're thinking, what you're saying to yourself. That's it. Just notice, observe, and recognize. Nothing more, nothing less. No right or wrong or beating yourself up because you're thinking that same thought again. No. Just notice it and observe and start recognizing the patterns that it makes. So, is there a certain situation in which that thought always comes up, or in which that way of speaking to yourself always comes back? Is it always with the same person that you're not saying what you want to say and holding back, making yourself small, maybe even invisible? Recognize those different patterns that your brain made. In this video series about a golden conscience, are you speaking your mind? when you're in a certain room with certain people or in a certain situation? Or are you hushed too much when you did that? I will discuss how easily you can stop those thoughts and try to understand why you're thinking those thoughts. Where are they coming from? But for now, start by being aware of what your mind is doing, what it's thinking, what it's saying, and start recognizing when it happens. Does it happen all the time? Or does it only happen when you're in bed, for instance, and thinking about what the day was like today? To help yourself recognize those patterns, it might be a good idea to have a little notebook and a pen with you throughout the day. That way you can write down the different things that your mind is doing and that you are noticing, maybe for the first time. You can also use your phone, of course, if you want to, but remember to write everything down in one place. That way it's easier to recognize the pattern that your mind is making. When you write stuff down, it will help you if you write it down, if you always write it down in the same way. Make sure you always write down these 4 things. 1, always write down the date. 2, the situation. 3, what your mind was thinking. And 4, choose if you still want that train of thought going through your head in that situation. Just make a choice. Just write down yes or no. And if you have time and energy, you can also write down 5, why am I thinking these thoughts? Why is it? What is it? Do I want to keep myself small? Am I scared in this situation? Don't I trust the person? Don't I trust these persons? I don't know. Just think about it. And 6, what would you like your train of thought to be? What would you like to think in this situation? Or what would you like to do in this situation? Just write them down for now and then let it go. At this moment, we're not touching that yet. Just noticing and observing. We're taking baby steps right now. Just to make sure that your defense mechanism, who put those train of thoughts there in the first place, keeps quiet for now, at least. So what is the connection to self-love, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. Self-love is loving yourself unconditionally and totally. So you need to start getting aware of the parts that you're not aware about right now, because otherwise you can't love them, right? Self-love is also opening the different boxes that you put your traumas and your pain and all your stuff that you don't want to look at in. Your defense mechanism made a way to keep those boxes closed, that you don't look at them, because there's pain in those boxes and it wants to keep you far, far away from it. But all those boxes are part of you as well, a part of your whole being even. So loving yourself unconditionally means opening those boxes. We're not there yet, don't worry. For now, we'll focus on our defense mechanism, our ego, that made this web of patterns, of thoughts, of conversations, of keeping yourself small in your mind to keep you away from those boxes. One of the reasons that you, for instance, keep yourself small or don't speak your mind is to benefit the other person, to make them not feel uncomfortable. But at the same time, when you're benefiting that other person, you're saying to yourself, I'm not good enough. I can't speak my mind because, well, maybe people think I'm weird or stupid even. You're saying to yourself, I'm not good enough to be me. You're not saying that on purpose, but try saying that to yourself in the mirror. Look yourself dead in the eye and say with a straight face that you're not good enough. without crying, without feeling the pain that it does when you say that to yourself. That's what you're doing when you're holding yourself back, keeping yourself small, not saying what you want to say, making yourself invisible. That's what you're doing. And that's not self-love. In my videos, in my upcoming videos, we will dive in how to handle that, how to handle those thoughts. For now, just recognize them, observe, and write them down. And remember, when you're learning something new, a new habit maybe, you're unlearning an old habit at the same time. So be gentle with yourself. Give yourself time to learn this new way of processing your thoughts. Every second of every day that you're awake, you can consciously make a different choice and go further where you left off. So, if you forget to write stuff down, or you're noticing that you're falling back into your old habits, that's fine. Noticing, step 1. Choose to make a different choice and go further where you left off is step 2. There's no deadline. There's no rush. There's no hurry. This isn't competition. It's you taking your next step on the path of unconditional self-love. So if you watched this video until the end, thank yourself because you made a new step on your path towards unconditional self-love. Keep an eye out for my next videos. Change or repeat, my lovelies. The choice is always yours.